Our very first story, Joy News Investigations has revealed government in 2016 purchased 350 vehicles for onward distribution to transport operators at 18 million cedis more than it would have cost if the same vehicles were bought from the showroom. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, which was to receive the vehicles for redistribution to its members, rejected the vehicles, citing the cost at which it was being offered to them. Manasseh Azuri-Awuni spent the last 7 months investigating how various vehicles procured by the state have been grounded. In the first of the series titled Grounded Wheels, Manasseh delves into the reason the Maslok vehicles have been at the mercy of the weather for more than 2 years now.
In the National Security Yard behind the Accra International Conference Center, 350 vehicles procured by the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Maslok, are parked with some of the saloon cars completely covered with overgrown weeds. The vehicles are made up of 133-seater Isuzu buses, 100 Chevy Sparklight saloon cars, and 150 Chevy Aveo saloon cars. Maslok procured these vehicles in 2016 for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, but the GPRTU rejected them. The Chief Executive Officer of Maslok, Stephen Amwa, says the Transport Union rejected the vehicles because they are overpriced.
If you look at the prices and compare that to market averages, the prices were outrageous because those trotro buses and commercial vehicle drivers have their turnovers, the sales they make a day, and for that matter, any car they procure for that purpose should be able to work in that capacity and give them the sales they need to be able to break even.
Joy News, as part of this investigation, went to the supplier of the vehicles, Mack Autos and Spare Parts Ghana Limited, for quotations in August 2018, 2 years after the company sold the vehicles to Maslok. We found that the 2016 prices of the vehicles are lower than the 2018 prices, but our investigation revealed that the cost at which the company sold the vehicles to Maslok in 2016 is far higher than the cost at which it sold to the general public in 2018. For instance, Mack Ghana sold the 33-seater Isuzu bus to the general public in 2018 at $79,000, but sold to Maslok in 2016 at $107,000, a difference of $28,000 per bus. The company sold the Chevy Sparklight saloon cars in 2018 at $9,000, but sold to Maslok at $12,500. In 2018, Mack had stopped selling Chevy Aveo saloon cars, but an August 2017 invoice from the company, which Joy News obtained as part of this investigation, caused the price of each Chevy Aveo vehicle at $14,000. However, the company supplied each of the 150 vehicles to Maslok at $18,000. In all, the cost of the vehicles sold to Maslok is higher than the market price of the vehicles by at least $3,750,000 or 18,375,000 Ghana cedis. Joy News made several attempts to speak to the CEO of Maslok, who signed the contract at the time, Sedina Tamaklo Atienu, but could not get her to comment. When Joy News wrote to Mack Ghana for a response, the company denied any wrongdoing. In a letter to Joy News, Mack Ghana said,
"The reasonable difference in prices of the vehicles sold to Maslok and the prices sold to the general public was due to the fact that it was not paid upfront in cash, but over a period of 2 years. As such, an interest was put on the price, as is custom in car purchases."
Stephen Amwa believes the amount put on contracts in Ghana are generally too high.
I know all over the world, businesses, they have lobbying fee. So you might have thought of some small margin to manage the transactions that went on. Even America, they have lobbying fee. Whether it's wrong or right, I don't know. But a situation where, just by observation, amounts that are added, sometimes when you think about it, you ask yourself, so do we have mosques and churches in Ghana, like buildings? I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not perfect, bro. I'm not an angel. But I think what is really destroying Ghana is corruption. There's nothing else. Whether NDC, CPP, we have good people who are learned. But why? It's corruption. Why? It's corruption.
Joy News investigation revealed more anomalies with this contract beyond the prices. We secured a record of all the vehicles imported by Mack Ghana from January 2016 to December 2017. We also secured details of all the vehicles cleared by the company for which duty was paid. When the details of the vehicles supplied to Maslock were searched from the vehicles cleared, they were not found. Our checks with the Ghana Revenue Authority confirmed that the company did not pay duty on the vehicles it supplied to Maslock. According to the GRA, duty on the 350 vehicles amounted to 10,500,000 Ghana cedis. Further investigations revealed that the Ministry of Finance had written to waive the duty for the company pending a parliamentary approval, which did not happen. Our investigation, however, revealed the company was not entitled to a duty waiver according to the terms of the contract. Article 32 of the contract states, and I quote, "A supplier shall be entirely responsible for all taxes, duties, licenses, fees, etc. incurred until the delivery of the contracted goods to the final destination," end of quote. GPRTU executive told Joy News the union had its own preference, but Maslock insisted on Mack Ghana. Besides, Maslock did not discuss the prices or sign any contract with them before importing the 350 vehicles. A procurement specialist, Kobina Atabedu, says government committed a series of anomalies in the transaction.
My understanding of this is that GPRTU said that they want government to assist them to acquire vehicles. GPRTU had their own preference of vehicles they want. So that is the specification. How come government decided that we are going to go to Mack and that is what we will give you? That is a red flag for me. Number two, why should it be a sole source or a single source? And where is the approval? Did they get PPA to do an approval for that single source? Now, if PPA did an approval for that single source, what kind of due diligence did they do before they decided to give them the approval? Because if I look at the analysis here, they quoted in cedi. The contract was given out in Ghana cedi. We have ended up paying in USD as against the contract. That itself is a flaw on government's part.
He also commented on the value of the vehicles.
When a vehicle drives out of the showroom, as soon as it comes out of the showroom, 20% of the vehicle has depreciated. It's gone. The value is gone. So if we are to sell those cars today, we will have lost money. Because by accounting standards, you can depreciate a car over a maximum of 5 years and a minimum of 3 years. So if we take the maximum, it means every year 20% of the value of the car is gone. So as soon as the car drove out of the showroom, so if you buy a car today, you take it back the next day and say, I want my money back, they'll give you your money minus 20%. So we've put those cars there, dumped them in the sun.
Since 2016?
Since 2016. So 2016, 2017, 2018, now we are in 2019, 4 years. The value of those cars, book.
The fate of the vehicles is not known. What is known is that irrespective of how the vehicles are disposed of, the state will have to sell them at a lower price than it bought them. For Joy News, Manasseh Azure Arena reporting.
And do stay tuned to Joy News as we will be bringing you more analysis on this particular story. And of course, there's a lot more to come on this story. Meanwhile, the former CEO of the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Maslock, Sedina Tamaklo Ationu, has been granted a 5 million cedi bail with 2 sureties by Accra High Court. This was after she pleaded not guilty to all 80 counts of stealing and causing financial loss to the state, causing loss to public property, improper payment of public funds, unauthorized commitment resulting in a financial obligation for the government, and contravention of the Public Procurement Act. Raymond Aka was in court and reports.
The former Maslock boss was charged together with former operations manager of the center, Daniel Azim,
who was granted a 1 million Ghana cedi bail with one surety. According to the charge sheet, the two willfully caused financial loss to the state contrary to sections 23(1) and 179A 3A of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29. The two were put before the Financial Division of the High Court on Monday, February 4, where the former CEO's lawyers argued that she deserved bail because she's always honored invitations and fully cooperated with the investigations. Both are expected to deposit their passports with the court. Speaking to Joy News after the first appearance in court, a leading lawyer for Sedina, Kojoga Adawudu, questioned the prosecution's ability to prove all the 80 charges beyond reasonable doubt.
When the charges were read, they all pleaded not guilty, and we've been granted bail. Bail in sum of 5 million and 2 sureties. I think for the second accused is 1 million and 2 sureties. The more charges you bring, the more and the onerous tax you put on yourself to prove beyond reasonable doubt. If I look at it, basically all they are talking about stealing, willful causing financial loss, dishonestly appropriating something that belongs to the state. They are talking about the breach of the Public Financial Management Act and the Public Procurement Act that they have not been given approval. But still, you could see that the single sole sourcing they are talking about, it is still law. What they are saying, there was no approval. So they will have to come and show that all this they are saying is in place. Then we don't have anything to even say. But to put something before the court to know that what they are saying, it does not exist. That's our only duty to do. So,
can you convince you sail through?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. You know, we will look at the materials they have. Then we would also scrutinize it. At the end of the day, we are happy we are here today because this started since 2017, all over the media. Somebody is corrupt, somebody has stolen, somebody is a thief. All this thing, I'm sure the world will follow the trial.
The case has, however, been adjourned to March 4, 2019.
Now, the following news desk report captured the facts of the state's case against the Maslock CEO and how we got here.
In 2017, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, conducted investigations into certain fraudulent disbursements of Maslock funds involving the first and second accused persons. Investigations revealed that in June 2014, Maslock invested a sum of 150,000 Ghana cedis in Obatampa Microfinance Company Limited, a licensed Tier 2 microfinance company located at Ijra in the Ashanti region. Thereafter, the first accused person offered Obatampa a further investment sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis. As a result, a Maslock Agricultural Development Bank ADB check dated 24th of July 2014 in the sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis was drawn in favor of Obatampa. Soon after Obatampa received the Maslock check, the first accused person informed the board chairman of Obatampa that the investment amount of 500,000 Ghana cedis would attract 24% interest. Obatampa decided to return the amount to Maslock since the interest rate being demanded by the accused person was too high and unprofitable for its business. They issued a check in a refund of the loan amount. Upon presentation of the check, the first accused person declined to accept the check and made a demand for a cash refund. A cash amount of 500,000 Ghana cedis was delivered to the first accused person by the board chairman of Obatampa on the night of 28th August 2014 at the Bachona Total filling station located on the Spintex Road in Accra. By a letter dated 28th August 2014, the first accused person acknowledged receipt of the refunded sum. In 2015, per letters, some of which were under the hand of the accused person, Maslock made demands on Obatampa for the payment of interest on the principal investment sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis. In response to the demands, Obatampa wrote a reminder to Maslock concerning the payment of the loan amount and drew the first accused person's attention to the unjustified demands, whereupon the demands stopped. In 2017, upon the assumption of office of a new chief executive of Maslock, a demand notice was again sent to Obatampa for the payment of accrued interest on the same investment sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis, whereupon Obatampa once again informed Maslock that the money had already been refunded since 2014. Investigations subsequently showed that Maslock had no record of the amount having been paid to it, and that the first accused person had appropriated the amount of 500,000 Ghana cedis.
Watching Joy News Prime, we're taking a break, but still ahead in the bulletin, customers of gold dealership firm Men's Gold warned beneficiaries of the company's goodwill, including celebrities, government officials, and foundations, to refund all such monies as they fight to retrieve their locked-up deposits.
What do you call it? Did we say that we cannot invest in this country? We have to invest. We are investors, and I am a proud Men's Gold customer. I am a proud Men's Gold customer. They should give us our money.
Later on in the bulletin, Joy News uncovers why scores of underage girls in Jamestown are offering their bodies to older men instead of getting an education.
We are unemployed. Because of that, many of us have sex with men to cater for ourselves.
Stay tuned, we'll be back in a bit. Former President Jerry John Rawlings on Monday visited Yaro Ishao, a victim of the La Bawaleshi shooting incident last Thursday at the 37 Military Hospital. Yaro was struck by a bullet when armed men stormed the residence of the NDC aspirant in the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election Delali Kwesi Brempong while the election was underway. The former president, in a statement after the visit, said, "Those who are bent on using violence to achieve their aims must be prepared to answer for their actions. Very little attempt was being made to prevent violence by agents of the leading political forces within the country. By our actions and omissions, especially after 2008, we contributed immensely to laying the bed we now find ourselves in." Now, 13 people were injured and sent to the Legon hospital, but Ishao, who suffered a broken leg, was subsequently referred to the 37 Military Hospital. Staying with this story, discussions about the violence which characterized the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election is likely to continue because the police has not yet concluded its investigations and told the public exactly what happened. Now, some words uttered by one of the men who stormed the La Bawaleshi Park as part of the national security operation, however, raises doubts about their real intentions. He is captured in the video showing the assault of the Member of Parliament, Sam George, saying, "This is the beginning of 2020, I swear to God." What did he mean by that? We analyze it in the following report.
This is not a war movie. Those are gunshots and violent sounds from La Bawaleshi in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency during the just ended by-election. Some new videos have resurfaced showing a group of marched and well-built men unleashing raw violence on some young men. In the middle of the fray is a young man wearing a black t-shirt being kicked around in his ribs and every part of his body by about 15 to 20 well-built men. Well, Minister of State in charge of National Security, Bryna Champon, has now admitted the men are national security operatives who were tasked to locate and defuse what he calls undesirable things.
The information we have goes beyond the by-election that we just witnessed. It's a massive operation of movement of certain things that is undesirable to the public.
Okay.
And it's something that the operation or the information that we have, what we are tracking, has not ended.
He says the men will not stop unless these undesirable things are diffused.
As we speak now, our men are actively engaged in unraveling the thing that we suspect it is. So it has not ended. When it ends and we deem it fit to let apprise the public of that information, we will.
But in the middle of the chaos is the soundbite from the hooded, well-built national security operatives who assaulted Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Sam George. Listen again. Translated as the beginning of 2020, I swear to God. Could this mean that party boys have infiltrated the national security officers? Could this mean that the national security operatives have a task to execute in 2020? Until the police conclude investigations, there will be more questions begging for answers.
Now, what appears to be the last case of a dying horse, the coalition of aggrieved Men's Gold customers want celebrities, government officials and foundations who benefited from Nana Appiah Mensah's Men's Gold group of companies to refund all monies and assets handed over to them. At a press conference on Monday, they also stated they want government to set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the ongoing Men's Gold saga to help retrieve their locked-up investments. Secretary of the coalition, Samuel Odate, explained the bipartisan commission could bring an end to their plight and help save the lives of dying customers. This comes almost a week after IOCO secured a court order confirming a freeze of properties of Men's Gold Ghana Limited. Henry Kwesi Bedu.
Celebrities, government officials, state institutions and foundations which have benefited from NAM1 mission must refund all their money and assets donated to them.
Aggrieved customers of Men's Gold are desperate. They have been agitating since September last year to get the company to pay up their locked-up investment, but to no avail. After numerous demonstrations across the country to highlight their plight, which has yielded little results, they are now calling on government to set up a commission of inquiry to probe Men's Gold and recommend lasting solutions. Secretary of the coalition, Samuel Odate, spoke on behalf of the group.
We wish to call on the government to speed up its investigation into the Men's Gold saga to save millions of Ghanaian citizens affected both home and abroad, who are experiencing great turmoil and have developed chronic disease, while others have fled from their homes due to fear from arrest and death threats from their debtors. Over 10 of our members have been counted dead, while so many are contemplating suicide.
Some of the aggrieved customers say delay in payment of their investment capital is taking an emotional toll on them.
Me 2 billion. Billion.
I have 200,000 Ghana cedis locked up at Men's Gold, and if not for God's protection and guidance, I would have been dead by now. But my stroke is getting worse by the day. I don't know what to do now. We are pleading to the government to intervene. I'm not unavailable to feed myself and children because of my locked up investment. We are in trying times. President Akufo-Addo should help us.
We are victims. We are not greedy. We are victims, and they have to get up and do something about it. What do you call it? Did we say that we cannot invest in this country? We have to invest. We are investors, and I am a proud Men's Gold customer. I am a proud Men's Gold They should give us our money.
Henry Kwesi Bedu's report for Joy News.
It is a community on the brink, with poverty, illiteracy and social vices on the rise. But more worrying is the sexual exploitation predominant in the popular fishing community, Jamestown. In the following report, Joy News' Komladom tells the story of how young girls under 18 years trade sex to earn their keep as school dropout levels continue to rise.
We are unemployed. Because of that, many of us have sex with men to cater for ourselves.
At 15 years, Bridget, not her real name, is already a mother and with no regular source of income. It is a rough patch into parenthood.
Some of my friends choose sleep with men because their parents cannot cater for them.
Like Bridget, Angie also dropped out of school when she was in Form 2 and now helps her mother at the Jamestown landing beach to sell fish. Angie's boyfriend has promised to get her back to school, but when will this be?
My boyfriend comes to give me money. It is true we sleep with the men. He has promised to take me back to school.
It's another day here and fisher folk have returned with their catch. Buyers are scrambling for the best deals. And the girls are out here, some in skimpy clothes and wearing weaves. But beyond the activities here at the landing beach is a worrying cocktail of poverty and a swath of social vices. Bridget earns a living by trading sex with a man who is many times older than she is and himself not employed.
I finished JHS, but I cannot continue. My mother, who have been catering for me, has since stopped.
Her survival in this slum depends on a man, or even men, sometimes as old as her own father. The sad reality here is that Bridget, Angie, and many others like them have the endorsement of their parents somehow. Historically, Jamestown, one of Ghana's coastal communities, is fraught with a myriad of challenges, and these sometimes create the environment for these girls to look elsewhere. A Ghanaian NGO, Educare Wave International, says the rate of teenage pregnancies and school dropouts in Ghana's coastal communities is a national crisis.
Our coastal folks are left behind and they are suffering. The women, the stark poverty, you can see. So I decided, why don't I formalize this?
The group has therefore set out to empower girls in these communities with vocational skills, financial literacy, and take some of the girls back to the classroom. At its first event at the Jamestown landing beach, scores of young girls were taken through health screening, some of which revealed extremely dangerous blood pressure counts and poor hygiene. Joanna Vanderpoel is founder of Educare Wave International.
I came across a girl who said she's 12 years. She dropped out of school because the mother said she doesn't have money, so she should go and take care of herself. So she was living in one of these, you can see, structures with a man. She said she was in JHS too and that she wanted to go back to school. So that is why we are here.
The group wants to take as many girls in the coastal areas back to school and halt the trend of sexual abuses of some of these girls whose intention is to earn a keep.
We have collected data. We are going to collaborate with other organizations to take these children back to school. We met another lady. She is 22 years and she has given birth to 4 children already. So we saw that if we talk to them, so we collaborated with other doctors to come and talk to them about their reproductive health. And they came, they did. so that at least they will space their children.
Chief Executive Officer of Delvani, a culinary institute, Betty Diabo, says it is unacceptable for the girls to trade their dignity for a pittance.
It's absolutely widespread. I just had a conversation with a gentleman who was telling me that the young women here like quick money, and so they don't mind receiving 2 cedis from a guy and sleeping with him. And it's absolutely atrocious because, you know, your femininity has been reduced to rags. You know, you have to hold yourself as a woman.
Her company is committing to train as many of these young girls in Jamestown in cake and sugar craft.
A lot of them approach me that, oh, we want to learn, we don't have assistance. And I told them, we don't want the case that they'll pay for the tuition. The next time you are pregnant, you don't go through the course. They said, no, madam, we are willing. So there are a few of them, of course, that will be recalcitrant, but there are those also that want to learn. They need the help. And so even if you're able to help 2, that's enough. You've changed 2 lives.
Some of the young girls who were beneficiaries of a skills training say the opportunity to learn a trade could help move them out of poverty.
I would
love to learn a trade to cater for myself and my children. No man can take advantage of me if I have my own handiwork.
With these interventions, there appears some hope that a girl can live without trading her body for cash. Komla Adom, Joy News, Jamestown.
A 2.5-year-old boy who was buried alive by his mother when she discovered the boy had cerebral palsy will be given specialized care by government. The boy, who was then 1 year old, was found buried in a pit in an uncompleted building. Richard Kojonyaku reports neither the boy's father nor the mother has been seen 2 years after the act.
Kweku has spent 2 years here at the pediatric unit of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. He's all smiles as the gender minister and the nurses here play with him. Kweku's mother, after carrying him for 9 months, buried him in an uncompleted building when he was just a year old. Some laborers chanced on him and exhumed him from the pit, performed cardiopulmonary resuscitation in an attempt to restore circulation of the blood to prevent brain damage due to prolonged lack of oxygen. The boy has since lived at the pediatric unit at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, but has not been able to crawl or walk. Gender Minister Cynthia Morrison was struck with shock upon hearing the story.
I hear he was buried alive, and then they exhumed. I don't even know who exhumed, whether the neighbors or the earth, a movement of the earth or something. But this one, for a baby like this to be buried and exhumed and still living so healthy and strong, it is a miracle.
The boy lives on, but requires a specialized care. The gender minister says processes to get a child from the hospital to begin a specialized care is in the offing.
Is super confident, and so she can also send it down to people like my Kweku. But we forgive her wherever she won't come. She doesn't know the baby is here.
Richard Kojonyaku, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Now, raising a child with cerebral palsy could be burdensome, but the stress could be more, especially when the parents involved are also battling poverty. 29-year-old Mavis Obeng, who is a single mother and also poor, says she still nurtures the thought of ending her life and that of her child. In the latest Joy News Hotline documentary, Mavis reveals to Beryl Ernestina Richter the challenges of raising a child with cerebral palsy.
It is common knowledge that some parents are forced to lock up such children indoors to enable them go out to work.
He said, I am a lockino now, Macaco page, my intimate quam, sorry how much. My lockino, Feminist come to this way backward. We are man and over whom I and no one, my lockin and amico. Mitimico, she might be an address under 6:30, 7:30, nothing and I'm a baby doofy.
burden of care for children with this kind of disability can sometimes be heavy as carrying the weight of the world. There are days that Mavis and other caregivers in similar situations think of committing suicide.
Still me which is me who oh me radio oh yes cerebral palsy obi obi friend number no friend can we say be friend e be do meet me friend ni panis ani pa na fa call ni biem abe me hu ni amenye biem na me say anti me wo edro bi wo dem sisi ai edro esi Cypron Plus or something no mo a obeda sa fe edro akwa ne say wan didi a na community na otimi su sana de agent am so me mitimi de edro ni ma no na wanu no oda ni obeda sa say de be ya community na on su na me so me ntimi de me famu no tu ma ya me ntimi de ma na ne nyina ye guda to de be da dem ho sa fiti anopa kopima nwume na ye ndidi.
Well, that's the reason why you should stay tuned for the second part of Bond Special, which airs tonight right after the bulletin here on Joy News. And so that's exactly in about 20 minutes or less. Meanwhile, Gender and Social Protection Minister Cynthia Morrison says she will liaise with Farida Bedwe, a person living with cerebral palsy, and other stakeholders to find sustainable ways of supporting mothers who have been forced to stop work to meet the demands of caring for such children. She made the comment when she chanced upon a boy with cerebral palsy at the hospital who was reportedly buried by his parents in an uncompleted building.
We look at Farida. I was watching Farida actually yesterday. You were showing a special case, and she was the last person. And I met her the last time, and I have a meeting with her that we are going to do something. Parents will have to keep these children, and they don't have to go to work. And there's so much, they take all your time. So it is something that is on my heart already. So Farida is someone I'm going to use to do that. And Farida is, yesterday she gave a good testimony and I was just watching it. And she's a strong woman. And I know that she will help us also encourage and bring other people. All we need is for them to get confidence. Farida is super confident. And so she can also send it down to people like Mike Kweku. And it's handsome. Oh, man.
And that'll be it for the bulletin. Now, you have to stay tuned for our Hotline documentary, Bond Special. It comes right after this. My name is Israelite. Have a good night.
This is Joy News Prime.